Hi everyone, so glad you could join us today on this virtual Shift AI event. I'm gonna spend the next 15 minutes showing you one particular use case where AI makes sense to be used in customer support activities. It's basically something that we were thinking about for the last 1 or 2 years, basically working with various customer support teams and seeing how they work, what are their problems, and so on. And basically, we decided to spin it into a product of its own, hosted on Zendesk. And I'm really excited because this is the first opportunity actually that we have to show it to the public. So I'm looking forward to showing you this, and I'm looking forward to addressing all your questions in the end. Um, okay, so as you know, customer support is a pretty big field, and nobody actually likes or wants to be doing customer support, but this is something that you really need to have covered if you want to retain your customers, if you want to have them loyal to your product. So basically, without it, it's difficult to retain valuable customers. And modern customers using multiple services, especially software as a service from various online providers, really are in a stage that they demand personalization and they expect efficiency. So nobody wants to wait for a couple of days for somebody to answer your customer support inquiry to solve your problem. Zendesk as a platform is currently, I believe, one of the most popular platforms for providing customer service to your users around the world. And for us, this was the natural place where we thought our tool would make sense to be used. As I said, customer support is a very big field. So you have various components that make a good customer service possible. What we focused is we focused on one small problem, and this is getting the right customer question to the right agent. So creating an AI engine that can understand, okay, my customer is asking about, I don't know, databases, and my agent Jane or whoever is specialized in answering database related questions. And actually, this is the one small issue that we are solving with a solution, ticketflip.ai, but I'll come to that later. So currently, when you're providing customer support, you have an incoming inbox that's constantly getting receiving new tickets. And basically, a new customer is opening up and saying, "Okay, something is wrong with your service, or I need help, or can I get a refund, or blah blah blah, something." And it comes into your bucket of all questions from your users. And then somebody from your support team probably has to go through every question and say, "Okay, this is a question regarding, I don't know, front end or back end. This is a bug. This is a financial type of question," and so on. And they have to route it to some other member of the team that's actually specialized in answering those kinds of tickets. A couple of problems arise there. First of all, tickets wait in a queue until they are sorted and assigned to a particular agent. Secondly, a person who's actually doing the triage has to know every service, has to know what each agent is doing, and has to be able to route the ticket correctly. And then in the end, when the ticket gets assigned, when an agent gets assigned a ticket, they actually have to understand what's inside. And there is always this small possibility that actually the one doing the assigning was wrong, and actually somebody who's working on an, I don't know, backend bug fixes got a front-end question, and he has to reassign it to somebody else, and so on. From our experience talking to customers, basically a ticket when it comes in, it spends about 20 minutes in the queue. It can be more, it can be less, depending on the type of service that you're providing, depending on the customer support team and so on. But we can agree it spends some time in the queue without being tended to. This can be improved by having an AI actually doing the classification. So, as we said, you have a ticket that comes in, it spends a couple of time in the bin, and then somebody has to understand what's written inside. To understand what's written inside, you can use an AI to do this. And what Ticketflip AI can do, it can learn from the history of your existing tickets. So you are using, I don't know, some Zendesk for a while now, and you have a large history of what the customers asked, and how did you reply? Who from the agent replied? What was the content of their reply, and so on. And basically, Ticketflip can use this historical information to train a personalized model just for your specific use of customer support. Then, when a new ticket comes in, it gets converted into a vector, as we said, to a specific vector in multidimensional space, and compared how this new vector compares to your historical data that you already have from your old customer support operations. And then we know, okay, this is very similar to the question that somebody already asked a couple of months ago, and this got answered by Jane, or again whoever from your customer support agents, and then this gets assigned to your agent, and the amount of time. This is not instant, because Zendesk has their API have some delay. There are a couple of delays in this serverless AI computing platform. But basically, we can agree that you can reduce the time that a ticket spend in a queue from 20 minutes up until 5 minutes. So 5 minutes would pass from somebody sending you an angry email saying something is not right, to this email reaching the concrete customer support agent that can help this customer as soon as possible. And the best thing about using any machine learning software is it learns from experience. So if it makes a mistake by some chance, in the end, it will use this information to improve the model further. So any information on how a real agent used the system will be later used to retrain the system as possible. How does this work? It actually, this is a visualization, the TensorFlow projector, that we actually now are filling up with test customer support tickets that we have from one customer. What you see here is a simplification of multidimensional vector in 3D space, basically for you to have a feeling. So these are different topics covered by your customer support agent. So, for example, if I enter here SQL as a SQL Server, you see here that all questions regarding SQL Server are basically grouped in a very similar space. And this can give you an let's say, for example, we try SMTP. SMTP questions for mail are in a completely different space. This is a simplification of multidimensional space in 3D, just so you can have a feeling of basically what's going on. It's actually going on in a much higher dimension space there. But the point is, when a new email comes in, it's basically assigned a vector, and this vector is, we are looking at in which part of the space is this vector positioned, and what is the nearest cloud of services actually where we can assign this vector to. This is something that's a very known in the field of machine learning. It's not nothing special. What is new or improved is the way how we do this vectoring, or how we convert an incoming email into a vector. And this is something that we did for a couple of customers. And so, okay, cool. This maybe could be useful for other customers. But let's see actually how this works in live. So I'm gonna open up the Zendesk platform. For those of you who are familiar with Zendesk, so Zendesk is a customer support platform with various possibilities. Really, from the smallest teams to big enterprise companies, they could use Zendesk to provide support to their customers. When you have a Zendesk and you have a team or professional account, because just those types can have custom applications or marketplace applications installed on their tenant, you basically can open up, install Ticketflip AI, If you have already a history of closed tickets, like I have here 1.2 thousand tickets that we entered into this dummy account, and we have a couple of agents. More on that later. You are ready to create a new model for Zendesk. Okay, and then I press let's train a new model. And what is actually Zendesk doing right now? It's is using all of your existing tickets, creating a vector from every ticket that you have currently in the database, and creating a personalized model just for this particular account. So you could be providing customer support for, I don't know, a flower delivery operation, or you can have a customer support for a software as a service product online. Basically, the topics that you work with your customers are the topics that actually are gonna be solved by your model. This is an asynchronous operation, and this depends on the amount of tickets that you have. And once this is done, you will receive an email saying, okay, training is complete. Go to your Zendesk account and use the latest training model. Okay, and if I refresh the page, refresh the page, you see that we currently have a model that currently has an accuracy of around 63%. So of the tickets, 63% were assigned correctly, and 37% were assigned incorrectly. You have a couple of options how you can choose to run your model. So you can set up a threshold to be loose. Loose means assign every ticket. You don't care if it's not 100% correct. You just assign it to an agent. If it's wrong, this agent will return it and assign to somebody else. You can play around. You can say do it moderately. So you give the model the ability to say for some tickets, okay, I don't know what this is, and just leave it unassigned. So some from your human agents would assign it. Or you can say, okay, I want this to be really correct. And then you have an accuracy of 90%. But you assign only about 15% of the tickets with 1% of the errors, but you leave a lot of the tickets unassigned. Let's say I'm okay with a moderate style of providing my customer support. I'm okay with a couple of tickets ending up at wrong agents, so they can reassign it, and I can say apply and activate the model. What has now happened? The model is actually now running for my tenant. And if I go back and see my unsolved tickets, there's nothing here, but I can send an email and say something like, I don't know, I want my money back. I'm kind of tired of paying for this service. Can I get a refund? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and I send this to a support mail for this Zendesk account. I send it, okay. And a new unassigned ticket comes in and says, I want my money back. It's from Slaven Mišak. It's requested less than a minute ago. Okay. And in the backend, very soon, an agent, a ticketflip agent, should pick up this new email, read what's going on. I'm kind of tired of paying for this service, blah, 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 and assign it to one of our guys who's doing finance stuff. And the finance stuff is actually going to Tony, our chief data scientist, but in this particular example, he's the finance guy. So if I refresh the page, the ticket should be in the unassigned box. Okay, and if we refresh the page, after this is done. Okay, we see that we don't have any unassigned ticket, but we have one recently updated, and they say that the ticket that's about I want my money back was assigned to Tony. Okay, and then Tony can actually see it in his ticket bin and say, okay, I can reach out to this customer and solve their issue. We have a couple of ideas in the future what we would like to add on, for example, to automatically apply a couple of macros or whatever. But this is for the first version. This is the functionality. What we have prepared, prepared for every Shift AI participants a code for 50% off if you would like to try Ticketflip by going to ticketflip.ai and selecting a free trial there if you have a Zendesk team or professional plan. And we are looking forward to Ticketflip solving your ticket routing issues or making making your customer support process more streamlined and more efficient. If you have any questions, now would be the right time to ask them.